观修。那没有无常的观修的话呢，就是不能够称其为这个真正的佛法的行者。那对无常的观修的好的话，才能够使我们脱离轮回呢，达证这个涅槃，然后究竟的离苦得乐，然后究竟成佛。那刚刚仁波切所讲的这4个要点，那凡是聚合的必定会消散，凡是建设的必定会溃败，然后凡是聚集的最后会分离，凡是有生命的最后必会死亡。所以这4个要点必须要谨记心中，啊，成为我们修行的这个所谓的修行的一种参考。
And it comes later there, reflection to our reflection to the suffering. Is not specifically not mentioned here, but it's good to reflect on that suffering, the suffering. As we all know, as also yesterday we have some discussions on this. Suffering is again is we're not making something is bad, and then she says no. So this is so something is so bad, but this is also to reflect how things are constituted within in the state of the samsara. As yesterday, I went through the Four Noble Truths about the suffering. When Buddha said you should understand the suffering, so it's good to remind ourselves. So to remind here as well, reflect on this. There's the different layers of the sufferings. The suffering of suffering is actually physically, mentally. There's physical pain, mental pain. No, not just everything just without any satisfaction. We work so hard. This in samsara, nothing will give you complete satisfaction. What that means is, it doesn't mean you don't satisfy at that moment. Yes, in certain way, say, yes, we can say, I'm satisfied. But say, when you say that, now you're, all what you want is fully satisfied. Now you don't need anything. At that moment, maybe we are satisfied, but then that is impermanent. It changed. That satisfaction itself turned into suffering. So look at these, the suffering and suffering of change. And we're under the condition of the suffering. So this everywhere, a whole world, you see. Some people may say, we're not that point. Some people may say, no, this is just Buddhist idea, suffering, dukkha, we are just okay. But then you see, look at you, empirically, universally, you look at it carefully. There's no one in the world who achieved the full satisfaction in the samsara. No matter how much they have, they're not fully satisfied. They just go on and on and on. So there's this suffering of suffering. There's a suffering of change. And we all are under the condition of the suffering, no matter how comfortable their life may be. So look at it, this nature. And that's why we need to study, practice the Dharma.
那这个苦，那我们先说苦吧。苦这里没有确实的说明这个关于这个苦，但是苦之前昨天没有讲过了。那苦并不是这个佛教徒的一种信仰而已，它就是世间的一种实相，它是有可以举证说明的。那实际为例的指的这个苦，就是人世间的一种本质啊。那所谓的苦，就是一种不满足，或者是身心的不愉悦、不满足。 虽然你在做一件事情、完成一件事情，当下是满足的，可是这种满足感一下子就不会，一下子就退失掉。所以在人世间没有真正满足的事情，没有真正有完全的满足感的一个人呢、那所有的苦就分为这个苦苦、坏苦跟行苦。那有些人会误以为说这个 dukkha 苦只是佛教徒的一种对世界的消极的看法而已。那确实，其实并不是这样，它是一种可以实际证明的人世间的一种实相。因为在人世间，所以没有一种快乐是永远能够让人感到绝对和圆满的满足的，所以故名之为这个苦。
And also reflecting in the suffering is also has so much benefits there. In the Shantideva's text mentioned, when you say, reflect on on the suffering, say, we just see ourselves. I'm nothing special. I'm in the samsara. I'm under the condition of suffering. So that helps to reduce our arrogance. When you don't reflect on their sufferings, then we think I'm so powerful. I'm such a great person. No one is above me. Like this kind of such arrogance can rise, and that's a very the problem, problematic. So to reduce that, so I'm nothing special. I'm like the rest of in the samsara under the condition of suffering. So that's one. It's very helpful to be a real human being in the part of samsara. Then I said, when you have the awareness of the suffering in the samsara, look at all the people in the any beings in the samsara. When you reflect on those who are actual suffering, who are experiencing this suffering, or who are enjoying the cause of suffering, and then when you see those who are under the condition of suffering, that will give rise to manifest great compassion. Even those who are, you see, are such a successful individuals, or there are some individuals who hate you, you can also give rise to compassion. They're all under the condition of suffering. See, then all the conflict that we have can reduce, minimize, make your mind more flexible, open mind. Everyone is under the condition of suffering. I develop my concern because they are under the condition of suffering. I should develop compassion instead of being admired, instead of being jealous, instead of being, so to say, hateful, resentment. Just develop compassion to all those sentient beings in the samsara. May everybody free from this kind of suffering and the causes of suffering. Reflect on this. And then, finally, what's the cause of the suffering? All this. All the cause of suffering is our mental affliction, the three poison, see, and the karma we created from these three poison. So I should take care of this all, purify. So because reflect on the suffering, if there's no suffering, there's nothing to reduce the cause of suffering. But when you reflect on the suffering, suffering is not independent, or suffering does not rise without the cause or through the incomplete cause. There's a specific direct cause of the suffering. So I should take care of all the costs of suffering in this life, for next life, not for myself, for others. So as you see, reflect on the suffering. It's not something bad thing, or everyone is suffering so bad. So we're not making that, but just to be a very practical approach, be realistic, just develop your mind, such kind of awareness, open the heart to all sentient beings. And this is mentioned, those three are very importantly mentioned in the Shantideva's text, Bodhicharya Avatara.
这提天菩萨在这个入行论里面呢，菩提萨罗迦罗瓦达拉里面有说，什么是苦呢？那了解知苦了苦之后，你就知道说，你跟其他轮回界中的众生其实并没有两样，你都是受苦受难的众生之一。那这样去体悟、去理解之后呢，你会降低你的这个我慢心，因为可能之前呢，你会觉得你自己是成功的，比别人殊胜的。比别人都来得更优越、更美好的。但是你知道，你现在所受的苦跟众生其实是一样的，所以大家都是平等的，无有高下的。这样，这样的我慢心呢就会消失掉了哦。这样去观修。所以任何一个众生呢，只要他们还是卡在轮回当中，未得处理的呢，都会有这个苦的限制跟苦的这个困扰。所以你这样去想的话呢，那些成功的比你成功的人，比你美好的人，恨你的人呢，你都会放下对他们的执念跟这个关爱，你会对一切众生，包括你的敌人，包括陌生人，都会升起这个大悲的胸怀、大悲心，因为大家都卡在同一条船上，卡在这个轮回界当中呢，受苦受难不得处理啊，所以你会开放有一颗开放的心呢，胸怀众生，然后对一切众生升起这个无量无限的这个大悲心，没有什么其他人值得你去妒忌的，或者说去怨恨的，或者说去羡慕的哦，因为众生都是平等，都同样卡在这个充满苦难的这个轮回的世间中啊，所以这样去想的话，你不会有这个怨恨的嗔恼的心，你会对一切众生都升起这个无量的大悲心，并且祝愿你自己，祝愿一切众生，此生今世来世都能够远离苦和苦因。那苦的因到底是什么呢？人们就说苦的因，简单来说就是我们的烦恼 klesha 三毒贪嗔痴的这个烦恼，这个叫做祸。还有祸再加上一个业，就是我们的业力和我们的身口意所造作的行为。所以知道苦因为祸跟业之后呢，我们就专注于把这个苦的因、祸跟业呢加以净化、加以对治。因为苦的升起并不是单独升起、独立升起，它是有原因的，它不是没有原因就升起的。所以升起痛苦的特定的原因就是祸跟业。所以此生，来生来世，自己跟别人都希望能够远离这个苦跟苦因，都能够应用特别佛法的修治的道途呢，来对治苦和苦因。那在我们心中升起一种务实的态度，就是保持觉知，然后开放的心呢，去广度一切众生，对一切众生是无量的大悲心。
That's one story, if I tell. Should I tell this story? There was, it happened actually it happened in Tibet, way back, maybe 11th century, somewhere there. There's one very famous pass, the mountain you cross, very high pass mountain, and many people go through that, all the travelers. One time there was one man, let's see, like yesterday I mentioned a man who met Buddha, So like that, there's one man, a robber, very famous robber. Many people know in that area. So when people go through that path, individually they dare not go through that. Would they go with a group of people? But one occasion, just next to that pass, there was a village. From that village, there's an old woman, and she has such a very important walk, to other side of that mountain. So she got up early in the morning, even though she heard of that famous robber, but without any choice, she has to go. So she left, move on, near approach on the top of the mountain, the pass, and the man was coming next to her, following her. What she thought was she was always afraid if she may meet that robber. But as soon as when she saw the man was following her, she didn't think that was the man of the robber, Instead, she thought, oh, wonderful, I got such a great companion, on the road. Now I can walk with him, very safely, So then they walked, and then talking, and she said, I'm so happy to see you, we're so great, And so she that just sharing the information, talking, Then when they got on the top of the mountain, then she rested on the piece of rock because she's old, And then she said, by the way, have you heard of there's such called a robber, his name? And he said, that's me, And she was totally shocked, fall down on the ground and died. Because he was that kind of famous, Literally, it happened. Just in front of him, she fall down on the ground and died, Oh, that man was just, he didn't know what to do, And he just thought by himself, I'm such that kind of bad person, By hearing my name, people die literally, in the front of me, This is not the way to survive, to live in this way, So he felt so bad. Now he don't know, what should I do now? I can't live my life this way, So what should I do? So he was, then he met his friends and talked about these things. What should I do now? I should do something different, Finally, there's some people who got he got a message from those people. You should now follow the Dharma, practice the Dharma, So then, which kind of teacher should I meet? There are some people suggested to meet. So he met one Kadamba teacher. So he studied with him, the teacher, for many years. And then slowly now, his lifestyle is changed. And people know that. And then they admire him. Oh, such a bad person turned into good person, What a wonderful, what he was doing is so good. So there are a lot of other stories, Then later, there's some family invited him for special prayers, So one time he was in one family, and all the family went out for working in the farm, working the farm. At that time, still his habit, taking things from others, still exists in his mind. So now, when I go back in my cave, I have no reason, tea. I need a tea. You know, so she looked around. Then he found a tea bag, and he tried to take some tea from the bag and it to put in his bag. And that, as soon as when he's put his hand in the tea bag of the family, then he reminded, still your bad habit is continuing. You see, you're stealing, what a good bad person you are. And then without just, so he's just holding his left hand with his right hand with the tea bag inside the bag. He went up the top of the roof. He shouted, "Oh, there's a thief is coming in your house." So all the family members just run into the house. Where's the thief? And he said, here is the thief. So like that, he was reminding himself, just purifying all bad habits, all this. And then keeps just his, practicing this, all the meditation of the bodhicitta, exchanging oneself and others, and the purification, all this. And then later become very famous teacher. Then he moved on the top of the mountain. There's a small cave. He was meditating there. And then all the local people are so happy, and they respected him so much. And then lot of offerings going to him in his small cave. There's tsampa, tsampa, barley roasted, flour and butter, cheese, all the bags of this. Then he just all collected there. Then he was reflecting himself. You see, when I was robbing, stealing from others, I barely survived. But now, even I escape on the mountain, all those offerings are just now, just rolling after me. So look at here. So he, she said, in his mind, said, this is Buddha's teaching. How Buddha taught the teaching to become a better person. So just look like myself. I was such a bad person. Even just by hearing my name, people die. Now people are just supporting me so much. All this is the Buddha's teaching that changed my life. So that's a mission. Buddha's teaching is how it makes you a better person, better human being. Looking at the impermanence of all phenomena and looking at the suffering of the sentient beings, that you develop compassion, bodhicitta. So Buddha said first, don't harm others. No. Then later, on the basis of that, without harming others, then you benefit sentient beings for others. No. So first said, don't harm. Then after that, help others, benefit others. So his mind is trained that way. So we need a lot of training of the mind, mindfulness, all this. So to do this, the sufferings are sometimes very helpful, useful. See, I saw here some practices mentioned here. I think um, things 7-point mandala. I saw here one. this courage page where?
Uh, 26.
Oh, 26, yeah. Okay, here. Yeah, let me see, first see, let me see. Here, using the wisdom and courage here, this prayer booklet, okay, here, page 26. So using wisdom and courage, yes, first here said, as a practitioner, Dharma practitioner, reflecting your mind in the compassion, loving kindness, and bodhicitta, and step by step, all this. Then you see, repeat this often without, see, expectation or fear in order to train the mind. This is one of the most well-known verse practiced by many great bodhisattvas, through which they achieve excellent results. This is a special method to free ourselves from hope and fear so that we can transmute suffering into the path of enlightenment. See? So now practice goes this, I rely on you, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, means visualize Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Until I achieve enlightenment, please grant me enough wisdom and courage to be free from delusions. See? If I am supposed to get sick, let me get sick and I'll be happy. See? If, he said, may this sickness purify my negative karma and the sickness of all sentient beings, you see. If I'm supposed to sick, may I get sick. So my sickness may purify all my negative karma and the samsara from beginner's time that I have accumulated, as well as all the negative karmas of the sentient beings. And I'm happy about this. This is a great opportunity. You meditate that, you see. If I'm supposed to be healed, let all my sickness and confusion be healed, and I will be happy. May all sentient beings be healed and filled with happiness, you see. If I'm supposed to be healed, and they be healed of my body, speech, and mind, and all the sentient beings of the samsara be healed. May happiness filled with the whole universe. See, like this, see. So that gives us such a courage and gratitude, see, when we are going through difficult time, that I can utilize instead of, say, feeling bad. Instead, they become like an ornament. Courage, you see. This is, I think, really so good, If I'm supposed to die, let me die and I'll be happy, see. May all delusions and causes of suffering of beings die, you see. If I'm supposed to die, let me die, I'll be happy, no fear. So with that experience of death, may all my delusions be die. All the delusions of sentient beings be die. Just meditate on this. And I'm happy about this. See? And see, if I'm supposed, If I'm supposed to be to live a long life, let me live a long life, and I'll be happy. May my life be meaningful in service to sentient beings. You see, if I'm supposed to live a long life, I'll be happy. May I live long life. So my life be service to the sentient beings with my body, speech, and mind. And I'm happy about it. See? So meditate that. Practice this, you see. So both being well is good news that we can be service for ourselves, other sentient beings. My life be meaningful, to free from samsara, to achieve enlightenment. No. If I'm die, let me die. All my delusions be die. All the suffering of sentient beings be die. Now meditate on this, No hope and fear, you see. So meditate that we're coming from limitless lifetime up until now. Here, I went through long those experiences which I don't remember. No. But this life, now I met the Buddha's teaching. So I'm so fortunate. I'm grateful having these practices. So there's always opportunity, So you see, if my life is to be cut short, let it be shortcut, and I'll be happy. May I and all sentient beings, may I and others be free from attachment and aversion. You see, free from all the fear, aversion. Just practice this. So it is so good. You see, is always be very helpful. Makes us real human being, see, in the samsara. And it makes a source of peace, happiness for myself and to others, helpful. May I be helpful to all others. It's such a precious teaching. That's called Buddha's wisdom, So do those practices. Then next comes here. When you practice the meditation of the Buddhas of the 3 times, the foundation of the teaching is the training in superior moral ethics. So as yesterday I mentioned briefly, the 3 trainings, this ethics, moral ethics, training of the moral ethics, training of the samadhi, this meditative concentration, and the training of the prajna, special insight. See, you all are included. Especially here, first, we have to pay attention to moral ethics. See, so since Jesus was writing this letter to Dorje, said, which you have accepted and vowed, which you took the vow. No, you took the vicus vow. You have that precept, this precept, moral ethics, see, and accepted the vow. If you do not protect your moral ethics accordingly, means what Buddha taught, how to keep the 5 precepts. Five precepts is also moral ethics. The 5 precepts, as this morning I read. See, and then they are called novice monks or nuns, moral ethics, and full bhikkhu, the vow, moral ethics, Shila, is all. No? If you you should say, practice how Buddha taught. No? Buddha's teaching is not something to confine us, put in the narrow section. Rather, it is a way how to unconfine our mind, overcome from all the cause of the suffering. No? So if you don't practice this accordingly, what Buddha taught, so you will be unable to achieve liberation from the suffering of the lower realms. This is especially the lower realm. Without the moral ethics, having kept the ethics, the 5 precepts like this, if we don't keep those, then we are vulnerable. We are subject to born in the lower realms, like the hell realm, Holy Ghost, animal realms, you know. So much suffering is there. You know? So at least to free from the 3 lower realms, to achieve the precious human life in the God realm. So you have to keep this moral ethics. You know? And then you will have deceived all the Buddhas, you see. Then it means we are as a practitioner. So I follow Buddha, you know. I'm practicing Buddha's teaching. But if you don't keep this moral ethics, you are not practicing Buddha's teaching. See, you are not avoiding, purifying the three poisons. In relation to these 3 poisons, then you are just making mess in the 5 precepts. You know, you are not keeping the 5 precepts, so that we are just subject to born in the lower realms. So we are not really sincere Dharma practitioners. So see, if we keep these moral ethics, as this morning I mentioned, you know, we become such a sincere practitioner. Yeah. Okay.
那我们接着讲一个故事，在11世纪的时候，在西藏，那你要经过一个高山，高山它抵达另外一方的目的地呢，然后这高山那边住有一个土匪，一个强盗在那边出没，然后每个人都为之上胆，听到他的名字就为之上胆，很少人能够真正想或者真正能够经过那个地方了，而不被打抢的啊，或不被杀害的。那有一次，这个村落另外一方的一个老妇女呢，因为另外一边她有事务要去，一定要穿越过这个山呢，去到另外一边去办事情啊。她早上就出发了，啊、到了几乎要到达高山的时候，她发现有一个人，有个男的在背后，跟随着她，然后慢慢走上跟她同行，然后她就觉得这个男人应该不是没有想到说这个男人就是那个土匪吧。他就是他是跟那个男的一起同行，然后很庆幸说，有一个人跟我在一起，陪我一起走啊，我不一个人，因为我是不怕有人抢我的东西啊，我觉得安全的。然后他们于是一边闲聊一边走上山上去。到了山上的时候呢，这个老妇女因为年纪大了，所以必须要坐下来休息。坐下来休息就问这个男的说：你有没有听过这个山上有一个土匪很出名的啊，是专门打抢别人，然后杀害别人的生命的。然后那个土匪说：那个你讲的土匪就是我啊。”那妇女一听到，既然是面前的男人，既然是这个土匪，一下子就吓死了，摔倒之后就是心脏病发作就死掉了。所以这个名号一听到这个名字呢，就是摔死了。所以这个土匪这强盗就说原来我是这么的罪业深重啊！这个老妇女一听到我的名字，知道我是土匪强盗之后，就一下子就死掉了哦。可见我的罪业是非常的深重的，所以他就立下决心说要改变这样的一种打抢别人的这种生活方式呢。然后就跟朋友商议一下，到底下一步应该怎么做。那他的朋友就建议他说去找一个佛法的上师 来皈依，来修学佛法。不久他找到一个卡当派的大师呢，作为他的上师，然后努力的改变自己，修学佛法，就从一个大患变成一个大好人。那有一次，因为他变成一个很出名的修行人呢，结果山下的人家都请他去念经啊，去办这个法会，为他们祈福、念经等等这些。有一次，有一户家人请他到家里面去办个法会，啊、家人都出去这农田里面耕作，只有留他一个人在家里嘛。然后他看到别人家里面有这个很好的茶叶，他就用右手要去取那个茶叶，要把茶叶放在自己包包里面偷走。那偷盗的心还是在那边的，习气嘛，习气很顽固。那个右手拿到茶叶的时候，他用左手就握着他的右手说，就大声的喊着：“大家快点来啊！有小偷，有小偷进来你们家里面了，小偷在。”然后所有的人家呢都回到，所有的这个在田里工作的人都回到家里面看，到底谁是小偷？原来就是他自己，他称自己为小偷，然后叫别人来抓他。所以这个就是他对治自己烦恼的方式啊，大声的叫出自己的错误，然后教导就是说大声的喊叫呢，叫别人来抓他。所以这位所谓的这个曾经是土匪的这位上师呢，修习这个噶当派的教法，包括菩提心，包括自他交换等等这些呢，结果变成有修正的一个大德啊、当地人都非常开心，终于有一个佛法的老师他本来是坏蛋，然后变成一个很有具足功德跟名望的一个受到万人敬仰的一个大师啊，所以很多人都把那个糌粑啊、茶叶啊等等去供养他、奶酪等等去供养他，所以他居住的山洞外面都摆满了贡品。那时候他就说：“我以前是一个大坏蛋、大强盗，我抢很多人的东西，可是很难过的日子过得非常艰苦啊，有时候抢不到东西，日子很难过得下去。现在我变成一个修行人了，我变成个修行人，我不求自得，我要的东西人家都送上门来，不用我去苦苦挣扎去打抢别人。所以可见这个就是佛法的功德，就是佛陀的恩德啊。所以佛教叫我们变成一个更好的人、更善良的人呢。所以你要的东西就会不求自得，不要去苦苦哀求。所以呢，现在呢，我变成一个有修行的人，这个土匪对自己说，那因为这样我得到众人的这个供养啊，就是因为佛法转化了我的内心了，使我变成一个更善良、更好的一个人了。所以呃，这个因为诸法无常的缘故，众生都在轮回中受苦受难，所以我们一定要对他们升起慈心、悲心跟这个菩提心。所以呢，佛陀讲过这个四句戒嘛，就是第一个就是诸恶莫作，坏的事情、不好的事情通通不要去做。然后第二个就是众善奉行，好的事情、善的事情都要努力的去做，尽量的去做。然后，自尽其意，是诸佛教，这个就是修心的方面呢，要升起正念呢、菩提心啦、做自他交换等等这些。然后这个我们讲到说，痛苦，人世间充满痛苦，到底要怎么样转苦为道用呢？你可以翻开这个观修课诵本第26页啊，这边有一篇叫做运用智慧和勇气，我们必须要重复的念诵这个下列的文句呢，毫无任何的期待跟恐惧，训练净化我们的内心。那此乃许多伟大菩萨所修持的最有著名的偈颂之一，并以此达至无上的果位。此特殊的法门，让我们从希望跟忧惧中解脱，跟着可以把痛苦转为正悟之道用啊。第一句是仰赖诸佛菩萨直至真悟菩提，祈请赐以慧勇，就是有智慧的勇气或者有勇气的智慧呢，让我们从迷惘中获得解脱。第一句，若该生病就让我生病，我将感到欢喜，愿此病痛尽除所造恶业及一切众生的病苦。有时候我们应该生病的话，就让我们继续的生病下去吧，为此感到欢喜，并且愿我们的病痛呢能够尽除众生的所有罪业、染污跟这个不净。然后第二句，若得以治愈的话，就让身上的病痛跟迷惑也得以疗愈，我将感到欢喜，愿一切众生获得疗愈并盈满安乐。那这一句的意思就是说呢，希望如果我的心灵能够得到疗愈的话，希望众生也因为这样， 我身心灵疗愈呢，而疗愈他们的身口意，他们的身心灵，我将为此感到欢喜跟这个喜悦。然后第三句，若应当死去，就让我死去，我将感到欢喜，愿一切有情众生之妄想和苦难都跟着死去。也就是希望说呢，我们如果死亡应该要死的话，就让我们去死。然后我会为此感到没有忧惧、苦恼的安详的逝去啊，希望一切众生的妄想跟苦难都跟随着我的死亡而消失消散。然后第五句，若该长寿的话，就让我长寿，我将感到欢喜。愿将此生献以服务众生的意义中，就是说我应该长寿的话呢，就让我继续的长寿下去。我将用我的有生之年呢，尽量的服务佛法，服务众生啊，就是这一句的意思。然后到最后那一句，若该短命，就让我短命，我将感到欢喜。愿我济一切众生离贪爱和厌恶，就是说远离贪嗔。如果呃是要短命的话，就继续的就能够让我们短命呢，无怨无悔的以这个有限的时光呢，继续的服务众生和佛法，并祝愿一切众生远离贪嗔二种这个烦恼。所以这个转为道用的寄语非常的有用，就是当我们生命中痛苦不安的时候呢，多念诵这段文字呢，就让我们怎么说转苦难为修道的资粮啊，转苦为道用啊，这是说。那第三我们再说下来呢，看这个文本看这个大手印的告诫的文本呢，这边说到就是说，当你修持禅定、修持三世诸佛之禅定的法门的时候，那禅定法门的基础是要修这个戒定慧的三学，就是我们昨天所讲的戒定慧三学一定要修好。首先是戒律，戒律修持，戒律包括居士的五戒、杀盗淫妄酒，还有这个三弥尼戒、比丘、比丘尼戒等等这些戒律，都叫做梵文叫希腊，是戒律的意思啊，以戒为师啊。第一个以戒为师，那然后这边说呢，戒律的开始、初、中、结，就是开始、中间跟最后都是殊胜的，都是吉祥的哈。所以你已经受过的戒律呢，发愿领受的戒律呢，呃，如果你不把这个戒律守得好的话，你将无法摆脱三恶道的这个投生跟苦难。就是说戒律修的不好的话，你就会堕落到地狱恶鬼畜生道去哦，那会承受一大堆的痛苦的烦恼、痛苦跟烦恼。如果这个事情不是这样的话，那你就被一切诸佛所欺骗了啊！事情确实是这样子，证明诸佛没有欺骗过你，它是真实的啊，不虚妄的。所以这个无戒律的修持和修正，开始、中间到最后都是殊胜的，都是吉祥的。所以你要守好的你的戒律，要如护眼睛、如护己命一般的守好清净的这个戒律。唯有清净的戒律能够确保你获得人天善趣的的果报。那这个是佛教给我们的守戒的方式，这是佛陀智慧所告诉我们如何知苦了苦的方法。
I hear you say this, you will be unable to achieve liberation. This is not a liberation from samsara. This is dealing with the liberation, the Lord realms, as mentioned down there. So liberation from the suffering of the Lord realms, the three Lord realms, and then you will have deceived all the Buddhas, say as a Dharma practitioner, taking refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha, and then you are not following what Buddha said. So that means you have deceived the Buddha. So we should look to ourselves whether I'm a decent person following the Buddha guidance or not. That deceiving Buddha means deceiving to yourself, not Buddha. No. See, Buddha taught the Dharma teachings, as earlier mentioned, to help the sentient beings to free from all the suffering. Buddha sees all the causes and conditions of each individual. So without any confusion, without any mistake. So say all the causalities, and that, Buddha totally, perfectly can, see it or see them, and then with such a pure mind talked to the sentient beings like a kind mother who cherish her child from the bottom of the heart. She just cared the child so much. Similar, Buddha cherish and care every sentient beings, not just one individual. All just, and then through such a great skill and compassion, wisdom, taught all those teachings. And where is it taught step by step, what we can handle. Then we progress on that step by step. At the end, to become Buddha, we have to purify all of the obscurations, whether gross or subtle. Everything have to purify and perfect the development of all the Buddha's wisdom, the wisdom of knowing as it is, and wisdom knowing everything. See, you see. So that's what's called, and there's one special terminology called prescription, and proscription. You know the word proscription? Proscription is to avoid, or. So what Buddha prescribed, Buddha said, do all this step by step, like first, even from the 5 precepts, say, you take 1 precept, at that person, individual can handle. You keep 1 precept. Then maybe you can keep 2 precepts or 3 precepts, and then all, Then just step by step. So slowly. So what Buddha prescribed is Buddha prescribed all the cause of the peace and happiness in the samsara, and then how to free from samsara. And Buddha prescribed all the cause of suffering. So this is the cause of suffering. And don't follow with it. We are suffering in the samsara because of this, all the non-virtues, so that I prescribe to purify step by step. So this is called prescription and prescription. So there's the morality, moral ethics is how to engage all the virtues, practice, and how to free from all the cause of suffering. It's prescribed. This too, very important point in the moral ethics. That makes our mind very grounded mind. Good mind become flexible because all the 3 poisons that we have, we need to purify them. As I mentioned repeatedly, step by step purify. They are so difficult to get rid of. Dharma practitioner for many years, Dharma practitioners, sometimes they're off the track. Off the track, they go in the wrong place, direction. Then people surprise. Oh, what happened that individual? That person has been following Dharma for that many years. What happened? Sometimes it shocks you. So there's nothing to shock. Actually, these 3 poisons are so overcome, arrogant, we should say, blatantly arrogant. So difficult to get rid of. So we have to always prepare, aware, and to observe this moral ethics.
然后下来呢，就是我们这边所说的解脱，不是所谓的终究竟的解脱，只是从这个下三恶道、地狱恶鬼畜生道中呢，获得我们会借中暂时的解脱，能够投身到人间善趣中啊，去享受人天福报。那我们皈依三宝，皈依佛，皈依法，皈依僧，那必须要以佛陀为导师。那我们跟佛陀以佛陀为导师，到底有没有欺骗佛陀呢？自欺欺人呢？有没有欺骗自己呢？虽然把自己叫做三宝的弟子，是三宝的是佛法的行者，到底我们所作所为、所思所想、所言所行，到底有没有符合所谓的这个佛法的标准呢？还是在呃自欺欺人，或者欺骗自己，也欺骗了佛陀，是不是这个样子呢？佛陀所教导的精准无误的教法包括因果业力的这个法则等等呢，它是以慧眼关照世间诸法实相所宣说的这个真理，它是以清净的心，如母对待独生子一样的，如母亲对待独生子一样的，充满慈悲的心，无微不至的这种慈悲心呢，来向众生宣说具足善巧方便智慧慈悲的这个法教。它是有次第的引导众生呢，从苦从苦转为乐，从迷转为悟的这个一步一步的修正的境地啊。所以成佛一定要先降服一切的障碍，舍弃一切障碍，然后证悟一切的果德，包括佛的两种智慧，一个是如所有智，一个是尽所有智。如所有智就是知道诸法的本性，尽所有智是知道或者觉悟到了知到诸法的详细的细节都无不通达。所以何者当取，何者当舍。那五戒就是这个标准，这样的一个标准。五戒里面，你可以守一个戒、两个戒、三个戒、四个戒，能完整的信守五戒也可以啊。这是戒学的这个基础的要求是：何者应取，何者当舍，何者应舍日，就是要诸恶莫作；何者当取呢，就是众善奉行。知道什么是苦的因之后呢，就不要造作更多的因，同时要把我们已经造作的苦的因呢，将之净除净化。那就是对治这个烦恼的法门。那就这样的话呢，让我们的心保持安定、祥和、柔软呢。三毒如果升起的话，贪嗔痴如果有的话呢，就要用力的将之拔除，或者是净化，或者是加之以对治。那有些我们看到佛法修行佛法多年的老朋友或者老参，有时候会突然间变了一个样啊，突然间变得不像是一个正常的佛教徒。为什么会这样呢？因为他就是受到他的心中的三毒贪嗔痴的烦恼所影响的缘故啊，变成非常我慢心很强大，或者是贪心很盛旺等等这些都有。所以各位不必感到惊讶，因为三毒的影响力是非常巨大的，能够把你修行多年的功夫都摧毁的一干二净，这是有可能的。所以我们一定要有升起警惕的心呢，加以觉知，加以严控我们的身口意的这个作为，就是要守好我们的清净的守戒，才是上上之策。
Oh, sorry. I wake up you. Naya said, the practice of supreme moral ethics is virtuous in the beginning, middle, and end. You see, when you keep this moral ethics purely, then that's the call virtuous practice or virtuous practitioner. And um, your your mind, your body, your speech are nothing but pure state. And people trust you and rely on you and become source of peace, happiness for yourself and others. And that is the beginning of how to be a happy life, harmonious life. You see, when you don't keep this moral ethics going around, then you intoxicate, all these things happens, then you see, brings such a confusion to yourself, to all your family and other member people, So see, this is how fast you have to keep the moral ethics. Therefore, protect this virtuous practice as you do your eyes on life. How you protect your eyes. If somebody hits on your head, immediately you close your eyes. Something like hitting on your eyes. You protect your eyes. And how you protect your life. Your life is such precious. So you protect your life. Likewise, protect your virtue, this moral ethics. This is not just only this life, but love for life after life, and for others' benefit as well, and for the enlightenment, Yeah.
然后呢，这边下面就是接下来说呢，这个戒行，无上戒恨、无上戒行的持守呢，是所谓的初善、中善跟后善的。所以戒行的修持，从一开始的时候是善的、殊胜的、美好的，中间也是殊胜、美好跟吉祥的，最后也是殊胜、吉祥跟美好的，初中后都是吉祥、殊胜跟美好的。所谓的初善、中善跟后善嘛，这是确保我们的身口意呢，能够处于一种很清净的状态当中。如果你能够戒行清净的话，那众生都会信任你啊，依止你啊，因为你就是自他安乐的泉源啊，这样你就能够让自己跟别人都过上安乐的、幸福美满的生活跟这个生命。那戒行是成佛的基础。那如果戒行守得好呢，你就会成为自他安乐的全人。戒行守得不好的话，你就会变成自他祸害的源头。所以戒行是非常重要的，在这边来说。所以这边接下来文本说，要守护好我们的戒律，如护眼睛，如护己命，就好像我们保护我们自己眼睛一样，不受外物的干扰。要保护我们自己生命一样，不受其他生命的其他暴力的侵害，这样的如护眼睛、如护己命的来守好我们的这个戒律啊，就是清净持戒的要点。
Then, that as a result of keeping these moral ethics, you will achieve the higher status of divine, means in the God realm, and human life. So means you achieve the precious human life. So if you ask, what is the method to achieve the precious human life? It's the moral ethics. Sometimes you say this prayer to be born in the human life. So prayers are of course good, but not so definite, not so sure. But if you keep this precept, the moral ethics, purely, then that's the direct cause to be reborn in the precious human life, and also to be born in the divine God realm. See, so you see, we hear that we're discussing, about the Buddha's teaching, that we reflect on this, and your interest, and that we all come together. We have done something good in our previous life. So we should appreciate that. I made some good deeds in the previous life. Now in this life, I should not waste this opportunity. Keep the moral ethics purely, practice the Dharma to free from samsara, to achieve enlightenment. Having said all these things, you see, as I mentioned, it's the mind training. The mind is the core of this, how we focus, pay attention. Then very little people will talk about how to train the mind. So training the mind, something like people have no idea how to handle. you know. But whereas Buddha taught step by step, you see, in the world, you see, when they're against the law, there's a lot of laws, you know. They will never teach you how to keep the mind in the right place. They train you how to body keep, you know, see, you know. And then if not possible, they put you in the jail, the body, you know. But you cannot put the mind in the jail, you know. You see. So instead Buddha, you see, the mind is the master, boss, and the body and the speech is the servant of the mind. When the mind is the wrong place, then a physical and verbally we go in the wrong direction. When the mind is the right place, then your physical is also calm, peaceful. No? And there was one Buddha's disciple who's called Papatadil. His mind is so trained so much, you know. So because of that, his walking behaviors or way he walks, so gentle, and everybody inspired, you know. So one time, you know, he was walking, you know, then people, they heard of Buddha, you know, they thought, this must be the Buddha, way he walks, so inspired, you know. And they asked, are you the Buddha? They said, no, I'm the follower of the Buddha. Oh, see, when your mind is well trained, and you see, the physical is also well trained. Yeah. So the mind is the boss. So that is here. As a result of the moral ethics, you will achieve the higher status of the divine and human life, the precious human life we achieve. So we should appreciate ourselves, rejoice. I did something good in my previous life. You know, feel good about you. So Dharma practice is, you see, we practice Dharma joyfully. This is very important. Sometimes people think, oh, Buddhists, they're talking about the impermanence of the death, and then they're talking about the suffering, you know, suffering. Life is nature of suffering, you know. So they are just talking about all the negative things. Looks like all the Buddhists are so negative mind, you know. In reality, having talked about this, how to enjoy the Dharma. See, in the absence of these negative thoughts, the poisons, your mind is so relaxed, so peaceful, and you practice Dharma joyfully, you know, respecting others, and you can smile with others, you know. Shantideva said, you know, when you are practicing Buddha's teaching, when you see anybody, at least you smile, he said. You know, it doesn't cost anything, but it changes the world. You know, otherwise, like your face, frowny, you know, frowny face looks very awful. You know, look a lot of suffering. You know, you walk. You know, so get rid of that. Walk, you know, so with smiling others. How are you? No, hello. You say those things. No, when you walk, people there on the road. I do, you know. When I walk in some places, I smile only, wave the hand, you know, and then back to say raise the hand and smile, you know. It changes really, you know. Uh, Otherwise, when your face is kind of frowning, this very upset face, you know, people are afraid what that person is, you know, what will do, you know. Then they try to run away from that person, you know. If you smile, then they become close, they become friend with you, So this is how, with this teaching, we practice joyfully and with appreciation. See, I'm so fortunate. Now I know what are the cause of suffering that I can avoid, purify. I know what are the cause for peace and happiness to practice. A lot of people don't know, like the butcher. The butcher, they keep killing sentient beings. They don't know if that is the non-virtue, and that don't, how much negative karma they are creating every day. They don't know because due to ignorance. And now we are taught this, so we appreciate, rejoice that these are steps, Buddha taught. First you, from the taught skillfully uh, how to liberate, free from the three raw realms, how to achieve the precious human life in the God realms. And then from there, how to free from samsara, achieve here comes here, here. Before stop, if I read this. But this is still within samsara's ocean of suffering. See, if you have kept the moral ethics purely, to free from the three raw realms, even though you have the precious human life, you may be born in the divine world, in the God realms, but still is within in samsara. So you are not free from all the suffering. So you should understand the suffering of the whole samsara. He is now saying, see, in the state of the suffering, you will not be inspired to abandon it. So if you don't know this suffering of the samsara, you are not inspired to free from samsara. We're stuck in the samsara. We just enjoy samsaric pleasure. No? So we should understand the disadvantage of the samsara. See here, see. Um, so abandon of the ocean of samsara. Say practice in order to be liberated. You have to understand uh, all the six realms of the samsara. Sentient beings. There's no one is free from suffering. The, we all in the samsara. Some are under under the suffering of suffering. Some are under the suffering of conditions, and some are under the, you see, what do you call, suffering of no under not condition, suffering of change. I should say, suffering of change, and some are under the suffering of the conditions. So all in the samsara, no one is free from suffering. So reflect on this. So this estimation, look at the jewel ornament of liberation. They are very beautifully described, all the different types of the suffering. There are some people said, ask me, uh, this jewel ornament liberation in the section of the suffering looks awful, when you especially read the suffering of the Herein, there's 18 types of Herein. So it's just, it makes my mind what it calls very heavy, and how to say, some kind of like a little negative, I feel that. Why, I said, it's very important to understand about those things. So that will help us to inspire how to free from entire samsara. No? And that's why you reflect on that, practice Dharma sincerely to free from entire samsara. No? So like that, we reflecting on the suffering of samsara, it's very precious. When you have that understanding, then Even in our daily life, our life will be really peaceful, harmony, no? And you release attachment with the samsaric things, no? This is all subject of change. No? This is all a delusion. Nowadays, as you see, lot of advertisements, the AI, the artificial intelligence, you see, is real artificial, you know. See, we have to understand artificial intelligence is real artificial. All are artificial, you know. All are fake, you see. How you can expect real peace and happiness from this artificial intelligence, you know? So you see, you use this sense of your wisdom. See, no matter how looks they are so attractive and looks very wonderful, but deep in down, there's no essence. See, you won't achieve real peace and happiness from this. So Dharma teaches what Buddha taught. So, you know, so again I mentioned, Buddha nature is within us. So because of that, the Buddhahood is within our reach. We can reach the Buddhahood. It's because with us. So we just need to what we're talking about is how to get rid of all this is called adventitious obscuration or the bad habits of the samsara that we are so tuned in, purify those, you know, and we should appreciate that. From beginner's lifetime up until now, I have been in the samsara. I have not achieved any special norm, still because I'm wandering in the samsara. How I can expect in the future again, you know? So this is the time that I make use of it, purify all these mental afflictions. They are temporary. They are artificial, you see. They are fake. They are delusion, you see, these mental afflictions. Because of their delusion, see, we cannot expect any good from this. Because they are confusion, we cannot expect any good things. It's only cause of suffering. So I purify those things and reveal my own mind nature. So in the Mahamudra session will come, you know, when you meditate, reflect, relax your mind, calm mind, just stay this moment and look at there. None of these poses exist. No, they're just so temporary. They are just under the condition. No. See, to just for example, to be angry. Naturally, we're not angry, you know. We're just fine. But then, if there's something is going wrong, that becomes a condition to get upset. See, if somebody irritates you, we get upset. So that one is the under the condition. So, so all these mental afflictions are conditional. Okay, they're not real. Under the condition they manifest. You see, meditate on this. This will inspire us. So because of that, I just get rid of this all. I can do this. No. So this, then you will not be inspired to abandon. You will not abandon it. Abandon of the ocean of samsara. Practice in order to be liberated from the samsara. The samsara is a vicious cycle of the relentless suffering.
所以呢，我们说，要享受这个人天福报，投身到人天上去的话， 戒行是不可或缺的啊。那我们说这个暇满难得的人生呢，如果来生来世要获得这样暇满难得的人生是不容易的。当然靠祈祷念诵祈祷文可能有点作用，不过还是持戒清净是最保守、最稳当的一种行持。因为戒行清净的话，是来生能够获得人天善趣，投身到人天善趣，获得人天福报的直接的那个因。所以呢，佛陀的法教，我们之所以会在这边共聚一堂，聆听佛陀的法教，可见我们过去世已经造作了不少的善因善缘啊。我们已经获得暇满难得的人生，又遇到具德上师在那边闻法、听法、修法，可见我们一定要感恩自己这样的一个善缘好运，一定要珍惜自己的这样的一种修行，能够修行佛法的机会跟机缘哦，这是我们必须要做到的一件事情，因为我们不可能以微少的善德因缘呢，才能够聚合在这边听法。所以各位在这边聚合在一起，以这个厦门难得人生的听法、听闻具德上师的说法和言教，那肯定是过去是已经聚集了不少的福德资粮，才能够承办这样的一种呃这样一种善好的因缘机会。所以呢，要珍惜跟感恩我们所获得的人天福报。那我们说，你要拥有这个人天的福报，要投身到人间上去的话呢，戒行清净的戒行或者戒恨是不可或缺的。那我们说修心为上手，这是所谓的修心之道，以心为上手，那修心为要。修心这件事情很少人在讲，也很少人在做。可是佛法的修持的核心跟要点呢，是离不开修我们的这个心的。那外在的法律，我们说的律法，如果你要守法，你当一个守法的公民的话，你不守法的话，他们就把你抓进监牢里面去。可是心内的法，佛法的这个心法呢，是心为上手，你要守护好你这个心，因为你心做什么呢？你的身体跟这个口语、嘴巴就会跟着去做。有一个例子，佛陀时代有一个弟子叫巴巴大洞，他这个弟子呢，因为心性非常的安稳柔和，所以因为他心性的安稳跟柔和呢，他走起路来的样子，走路的姿势是非常的优雅，非常的庄严的。然后搞到有时候有人误以为走过来的不是这个弟子，而是佛陀本身。你就问他说：“你是佛陀吗？”不是，他说：“我不是佛陀，我只是佛陀弟子而已。”因为他的心性安稳柔和到那个阶段呢，他的举止、他的动作都变成的非常的优雅，非常的庄严，跟佛陀几乎完全一模一样。所以有人误以为他就是佛陀在走路。所以修心为上手，那心修得好的话，我们的动作举止也会变得善良跟这个美好。所以修心是非常重要的一件事情。那仁波切告诫我们说，我们要当一个佛法的乐行者，而不要当佛法的苦行者。不要让人一看到我们呢，我们是佛教徒呢，整天愁眉苦脸的讲什么苦啊，讲什么生命无常啊、死亡啊、痛苦一大堆的，那使人觉得看到你这个样子就要逃之夭夭，不想靠近你啊！不要做这样的一个佛教徒，要做一个佛法的乐行者，不是佛法的一个苦行者。那让我们的心呢保持在一种很平安放松的状态之中。那你出门呢遇到陌生人呢，要多怎么说微笑，面带微笑啊，不要每天是愁眉苦脸的，使人看到你就要跑掉，不敢去跟你打招呼。所以走在街上呢，多微笑，以微笑来面对这个世界，这是我们至少能够布施给世界、布施给众生的，就是我们的微笑啊。在吉利菩萨在入菩萨行论里面有说呢，面带微笑面对众生的话，这是我们改变世界服务众生的最好的一个方式啊。所以不要整天愁眉苦脸的哈，要微笑待人，然后走在街上，人们就说他自己走在街上的时候遇到陌生人也会打招呼，也跟他们微笑，他们也会微笑来跟你打招呼来回应你。所以可见这个是一个我们作为佛教徒能够布施给世界的一个方便，一个善巧方便，就是多微笑，多向别人问好，这是我们摄受众生 然后表达我们亲和力的一个摄受众生的一个方式这是最好的一种布施，最简单能够做的一种布施。要我们作为佛教徒，一定要法喜充满，一定要乐在其中不要每天苦哈哈的愁眉苦脸然后乐，我们知道苦的因，我们就要尽量避免，并且把苦的因给对治掉或者净化掉。我们知道乐的因是什么呢？就要努力的去具足这个乐的因，然后众善奉行，自尽其意。那我们要知道说，我们不像屠夫以杀生为业杀害了多少众生，那他是罪业非常深重的。可是我们跟他完全不一样，我们现在有幸遇到了佛法呢，修行的佛法呢，每一步都是迈向佛道的一大步。所以这样的人天福报，我们要珍惜，要把握，然后要善加以这个保爱。那下面呢，文本说到可是你获得了人天福报，人天散去之后呢，这还是在轮回之中的一道的众生而已。虽然是善道，可是还是摆脱不了轮回的这个困扰。所以，虽然我们具有暇满难的人生，或者生在这个长寿天，或者是享受天人的福乐，可是毕竟这还是属于轮回当中，所以我们必须要视为轮回的过患，以便我们能从轮回的苦海中得到完整的处理跟这个解脱。六道众生，每一道的众生都是充满苦的比如说之前我们所说的苦、坏苦、行苦，那我们所讲过的解说庄严宝论里面呢，所谓这个苦有很详尽的这个解说。那所以有18种地狱的苦等等呢，有人就会忍不住说，我们听到18种地狱有18种痛苦，感到心很沉重可以不要去讲这些苦苦难这个东西。那人们就说，其实我们知道生命的痛苦是什么，地狱的痛苦是什么，正好可以启发我们呢，鼓励我们求脱轮回，超越轮回超越生死然后对这个轮回这个厌离心跟处理心。所以我们一定要观修轮回的过患，然后呢，降服我们的我执、我慢跟贪嗔痴等这些那观修轮回过患，现在我们看到所谓的外在世间诸法的外在都变成了华丽梦幻，比如说 AI 所做的这些广告看起来很梦幻、很虚拟、很吸引人，可是这都是假的都是人工制造的，非常人工的人工。这样真正的安乐绝对不会从这些外在的幻象当中获得，然后真正的安乐唯有来自于佛法的所谓的佛法的这个修正。所以有智慧的人就会看到外在吸引人的，里面如果是空洞的话，那绝对不是我们安乐的泉源。唯一能够为我们带来真正的安乐的，唯有是佛法的修正佛法的修正，因为内心就是我们具有这个圆满的佛性嘛，圆满的功德嘛，所以往内求就可以成佛可及，是成佛是可以可成的一件事情。我们对自己要有这种信心。那这边所讲的就是成佛的方法论，就是降服一切的障恼，破除净化一切的障碍跟这个烦恼，然后证得一切的功德，那个就是成佛的果地了。所以要升起出离轮回的这个心。我们现在所获得的人生呢，只是暂时的暂时的一种过渡期而已呢。最主要是还必须要脱离整个轮回苦海，才能够求得真正的解脱跟这个出离。那在这个之上呢，我们知道说，我们的心，我们的内心才是功德跟福乐的泉源，才是真正安乐的源头。那往内回光返照，反求诸己，那正得我们的自性本性，照见我们的本来面目，那就照见了佛性，开显我们佛性本来就具有的庄严美好跟这个功德。这是大手印的修正直指心性，安住于当下，完全松坦，以心观心，然后安住在其中，这个就是大手印的修正。然后降服我们的嗔心、贪心、贪嗔痴慢疑这种烦恼了，不让它升起那一切的人世间的一切诸相的显现都是梦幻，如梦幻泡影一般了不可得的。然后呢，我们看说下来文本说， 如果我们对轮回没有升起真正的厌离心的话，如果我们不观修轮回过患的话，那我们是无法处理这个轮回的。因此，我们一定要认真的观修轮回的过患，然后以心观心，证悟大水印呢，以便达到这个轮回的解脱以及成佛的证悟。
Thank you. Before break, I think we have to do this one. So practice in order to be liberated. So then, practice for liberation by giving up aspiration for nirvana. So now here, on the base on this moral ethics, what we need is we need the training of the samadhi and meditative concentration. And the third one, the training of the prajna, special insight. So need these three training to free from samsara. Yeah. So practice for liberation by giving up aspiration. Aspiration for nirvana. Giving up means giving up the samsara. Seeing samsara is only nature of the dukkha, in the state of the dukkha, suffering. No matter who that person is, that individual is, we no need to aspire or inspire samsaric state. So we just aspire for nirvana, for liberation, the cessation of the suffering. See? So aspire for nirvana. If you experience peace for only yourself and don't reflect on other sentient beings, so through this practice, without reflecting others, just only for yourself. So I cannot now tolerate the suffering of samsara. In any state, the desire wall, kama dhatu, rupa dhatu, the form wall, arupa dhatu, the formless wall, any of these three realms, there's no absolute peace and happiness. So I cannot tolerate the suffering of samsara. I rarely want to free from the vicious cycle of the samsara. So you see, without thinking for others, then you will fall into the Sharavaka and the Patibuddha paths. You achieve this called Sharavaka Arhats, to achieve the Sharavakas Arhat, to achieve the Sharavakas the Arhats of the particular Buddha. It's called solitary realizer. And then that you will not achieve Buddhahood for all the sentient beings. If I say a few words about this, I'm sure when you study this path, we have this five skandha, the form, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness, called the five skandha, five aggregates. And then this five aggregates, what we have in the path of this individual liberation called is real, the dukkha, the suffering of condition. Until we free from this five skandha, one will never free from suffering. So we have to now get out of this. When you get out of this, when you achieve the nirvana, then it's called, that is called, you know, this five skandha, what we have is no longer with you. You abandon it and you achieve this called the nirvana, total peace. It's called Gokpa. Gokpa means nirod. Nirod means this suffering is no longer exist. Nirod. Then you are free from the suffering. Until then, no matter what, as long as you have the 5 aggregates, suffering is there. So through this path, I cannot tolerate this. I definitely have to free from this suffering. As an individual, just for liberation. So you say you achieve the arhat. So as I mentioned, to achieve this arhat, the 3 trainings are the indispensable part. The moral, the shila, morality, and the samadhi, meditative concentration, and a special insight. When they are, as yesterday mentioned, when they are fully synchronized, work together, then gives the individual practitioner full method how to get rid of this, all the cause of the suffering in the samsara, and then thoroughly the attachment to our self-grasping is totally taken care of, and then you achieve the nirvana. So then, even though one is free from, individually free from this samsara and achieve the nirvana, is called also in the Mahayana path, is called partial nirvana. And then say, abandon the mind of these. So then you say you will fall into the Sharavaka and Patika Buddhas, that they are enlightenment. So when that achieves, abandon the mind of these inferior minds. So you now, to achieve complete Buddhahood, we have to also release this kind of individual liberation. We have to look for all the sensation pains. So first we just say inferior vehicles up to there,
那么呢，戒行给守好之后呢，我们要就是再次谈到所谓的三学的共修共振，就是三学是戒就是希腊，那samadhi 就是我们的禅定嘛，然后 prajna 就是我们智慧般若慧学，三学并重共修共振，然后才能够脱离这个轮回了知轮回过患之后呢，应当发心出离轮回，就是要修持三学戒定慧。然后我们知道轮回 samsara 的本质就是这个 dukkha， 它的本质就是所谓的苦，所以我们轮回中任何一道的安乐都不值得我们去希求、去追求。轮回当中任何的苦都是值得我们去舍弃的。唯有希求这个成佛涅槃的妙乐，才是唯有追求这个苦的止息，才是我们应该要努力应该行持的方向，跟应该行持的行持的这种方向跟这个方法。然后我们再来谈说下一步的这个，如果您是体会了自己的解脱，你出离轮回之后达到自我的解脱，但是没有关心众生的福祉、众生的福乐，没有上求佛道、消化众生的话呢，那你还是一个被称为小乘的这个自了汉，因为你的发心不够广大，你只是为了自私自利而已呢。你选择做一个自我解脱的自了汉。要知道说，这个欲界、色界、无色界当中，没有一点真正的快乐可言，它的本质也都是痛苦的。那为了摆脱整个轮回，你 修成了自解脱的果位啊，所谓的阿罗汉果，可是你完全没有这个利他的菩提心，那这样的话，你所达到的果位就是声闻乘跟缘觉乘的阿罗汉果而已，那是小乘的果境，跟成佛还有一段很大的遥远跟这个遥远的这个距离。那现在我们应该要舍弃的是什么呢？要舍弃那个小乘的发心啊，要修持在慈心跟悲心之上建立起的上求佛道的消化众生的这个殊胜圆满无上的这个菩提心。那人们解说这个五蕴，我们说五蕴是色受想行识这五蕴，只要五蕴还存在的话，那个轮回的苦就是还存在的。如果你要解脱轮回的苦的话，你必须要把这个五蕴给熄灭掉。那超越五蕴的方法呢，就是什么呢？就是打正这个涅槃，nirvana 或者藏文讲 gopa 或者 niro，就是苦的熄灭，苦的止息，就代表涅槃妙乐的达成。那个时候五蕴已经不复存在了啊，所以有五蕴就有苦，没有五蕴就没有苦啊。这但是你达到个人解脱阿罗汉果的话，这还不是就近的。虽然我们也需要达成这个个人解脱的阿罗汉果，我们也需要修持这个戒定慧三学。可是修正之后，阿罗汉果还是比较属于小乘之道的一个修正。那把这个三学同步化整合之后呢，不只是能够成为修持个人解脱的果地，修正个人解脱的果地，同时成佛也必须要齐备这个三学戒定慧的摆脱我执，达到所谓的 nirvana 涅槃，这个还不是大乘的涅槃，小乘的个人解脱的罗汉果的涅槃呢，阿罗汉果涅槃是有余，是大乘佛教称之为有余的不圆满的涅槃。所以呢，这个声闻乘、缘觉乘的这个涅槃苦的止息，不等同于这个无上正等觉的证悟啊。所以我们这边说，当舍弃这些小乘的发心呢，要升起广大的菩提心，在慈心跟悲心的基础上呢，升起广大殊胜的属于大乘的清净无上殊胜的菩提心，这个才是大乘成就圆满无上正等觉，再加上解脱的方式跟方向。
Just to little clarify, in this part, there is emphasis, of course, practice of metta, loving kindness, and compassion, karuna as well. There's a lot of teachings and practices, but there's no teachings of bodhicitta. Okay, so bodhicitta is a method for the complete enlightenment, Buddhahood. See, so if individuals are interested in that realization, one can do that. That's why there's some are so tired of samsara. So samsara is enough, but Buddhahood is too far. No, I cannot make it. But is there any way to go for vacation? Special vacation for rest, So Buddha said, yes, this you achieve this arhat. No, do this, you see. But then eventually you have to attain Buddhahood. Because we all have the Buddha nature. See, to fully awaken the Buddha nature, you have to achieve Buddhahood. See, it makes sense? It's clear? It's not saying that this is a bad thing, Some people may get impression, oh, looks like this so inferior, all this bad thing, It's not that. If there's some individual interested, yes, it's appreciated. Go for, But if you ask, is this the ultimate the achievement? Is no, the farther to go, because still your Buddha nature is not fully awakened, revealed, You have to purify all the subtle obscurations. That's what we have in our dedication prayer. You see, you remember? Here, so, may the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue not result in the eight worldly concern, attachment to the eight worldly concern, and 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Sharavaka and Patak Buddha. What we want all the sentient beings to achieve complete, perfect the enlightenment, Buddhahood, So that's what it's about.
那么呢，我们通常谈到这个两种心的修持，就是灭大慈心，然后 Garuna 就是悲心，慈心跟悲心的修持。那很少谈到菩提心、菩提极大的这个修持。所以，可是如果你要成佛的话，你一定要先升起殊胜广大无上的清净的上求佛道教化众生的菩提心啊，除此之外别无其他的途径的。所以菩提心至为重要，不可或缺的。那呃，如果有人觉得说有一种修行者觉得说啊，生命中的苦恼太悲惨了，轮回的苦难太让人厌离了，使人厌烦了。但是我要度假一下，我要暂时去某一个地方远行度假，度个假才回来，看看怎么样面对它。那佛陀说是有这样的一个方法，你就沉寂，你就治疗汉，做一个治疗汉好了啊，发心摆脱这个现实的这个苦难，然后去到一个很远的地方暂时度假啊，就是小乘的发心，阿罗汉果的这个圆成啊。可是怎么样再好，你度假还是要回来面对现实，因为你即便你是达成这个阿罗汉果，你还是没有究竟成佛的。所以因为你有佛性的缘故，你要始终要回归这个佛性的圆满跟一切的功德，你的佛性的功德还没被完全的开显出来啊，你的佛性的圆满还没完全的被开发出来，所以你还是要呃，回归这个大乘的发心，然后呢，一步一步的去圆满成就佛道，得证无上正等正觉。虽然这样讲，可是我们不是说小乘的这个国位是卑劣的，不是不好，是不够好，不够究竟啊。认真来说，有些人修行者适合发起这样的这种发心，然后达成这样的国位。可是认真的来说，它是不究竟的啊。就佛果而言的话，就无上正等正觉而言的话，它是不究竟的，因为它的佛果的功德还没有完全的被开显出来，然后维系的这个烦恼障还没有被完全的被降服。所以我们看这个吉天松贡尊者所著作的这个回向功德文里面呢，希望一切30我记其教众生所累积的30一切功德呢，能够回向给一切众生18风，就是嗔讥毁谤苦乐等等的8风呢，不至于升起。希望轮回的4种因不至于升起，啊，希望那个卑劣，就是这个声闻跟缘觉乘的这个果位这样的发心呢，能够被超越啊，就是这样的仪式。所以以成佛，以成就无上正等正觉为大乘菩萨行者的这个目标跟这个方向，要达到这样的目标方向呢，菩提心是不可或缺的。
Also for your information, the root cause of the wandering in the samsara is this: there's true self, the person self, and self of phenomena. So the person self is I, my, delusions first. So there's called I, me, something like independent individual. Then there comes my, and then when there comes the obstacles to that, to achievement, there comes the anchor. So these 3 poses, I, holding the I, self is ignorance. In relation to that, there comes my, So then to my attachment and aversion. So we have to take care of this self-grasping. So through these 3 training, you get complete opportunity. There are no such called I or self is exist. Totally uproot that, you see, to achieve the arhat. See, it's very important. As well in the Mayana, we have to work on that. So for the the prevention of which prevents to achieve Buddha and the Arhat is first self-grasping. As long as we have grasping the self, holding on the I, then that prevents to achieve the liberation, the Arhat. To achieve Buddhahood is then after that, then we have to purify the self of the phenomena. There are more other to discuss about that. So we all agree on this. All the Buddha's teachings, everybody were following the path. So yes, you see here, very skillfully, step by step, the scholars, first how everything is within in the state of the impermanence. Reflect on that. Then that inspires us how to free from samsara. On the base of the understanding of the suffering. Then when we have that kind of understanding, so what require to free from samsara, so 3 trainings are needed, step by step. And how would, on the basis of 3 trainings, then it depends on the individual. Plus you individually, you want to liberate it. Yes, there's a way how to achieve the arhats, but the Buddhas, those. And then next will come the practice of bodhicitta. Yeah, sato Pantra Ma Samaya Satwa What's Ma Samaya? Great Samaya. Maha means great. Samaya means you have the Samaya. You have heard of that? The vow, the pledge, great Mahasamaya. To keep the great Mahasamaya is ah. The ah is the sound which is least effort you need all the sound you make, you have to make effort, you know, a lot and effort you have to make. So in the Sanskrit, it's ga, ka, ga, nga, cha, cha, you know, the very least effort you make. You know. Then it goes to say, ma, samaya, sato, all dissolve into emptiness. Everything dissolved. See, and that is the total wisdom of the Buddha. Okay, the emptiness, and that's the great samaya to keep. Okay. And look at the page 37, which is short dedication in this booklet here. This one. Out. Samaya sato Arhat。
这个我先做这个哈，玛哈萨玛亚萨多啊，我们刚才念的百字名最后一个玛哈萨玛亚啊，萨多啊，那个玛哈这意思就是广大的意思啊，萨玛亚就是我们所信所三昧耶界一般的理解是这样，萨多啊，那人们就说啊这个字是所有范围里面最不需要运用任何力量就能够说出来的一个咒字，一个音啊，就是让一切都回归为空性的意思啊，咒字里面最不需要费任何的力气就能够本来的音就是这个啊，然后一切回归空性，空性本身就是佛陀的大智大慧，我大智慧就是这个，你要信守三昧，也就是这个佛陀的智慧，总摄的智慧，信守的三昧，就是这个诸佛的空性的般若智慧。你要信守的玛哈萨玛雅是这个萨玛雅，不是那个一般的我们经常吃的戒律的三昧，那个是外面的三昧，这个是内在的智慧般若空性的三昧耶啊，这是玛哈萨托呀，玛哈萨玛雅萨托啊，回归空性哦。之前那个我不知道这，嗯，就是不界所说，要有两种无我，人无我跟法无我，必须要同时证得，才能够圆满的证悟无上正等正觉，就是成就佛果的结位。那一般的如果你要达成是个人的解脱，就是阿罗汉果、声闻乘跟缘觉是阿罗汉果的话，你只要证悟人无我就可以了。那证悟人无我的话，那个只要你有这个对轮回有这个出离心。然后摆脱轮回的困扰，然后达成个人的解脱，就是达成人无我了。如果要达成法无我的话呢，那你就要呃行持这个大乘的发心菩提心，讲这两种合一，人无我法无我同时证得，也就是破除人我执跟法我执，同时这两种无我都证得的话。两种空性的证的话，才能够算是能够证悟到大乘所说的圆满的佛果，无上正等正觉。
Okay, page 37, short, very short dedication.
37页简短的这个回向。
This booklet. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, completely perfected, precious enlightenment by the teachings of the Dikumbharana Shiri, all-knowing Dharma Lord, who is the phenomena, master of the interdependent origination, be upheld until the end of samsara by instructions and practice through these. Thank you.
谢谢大家。